Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Caitlin from Florals.com, and for the long-awaited galaxy background tutorial is here. I am using a bunch of my Zig clean color markers to show you guys how I like to make galaxy backgrounds with them, and all the colors will be listed on my blog as well as in a still shot here on this video, so you can write them down and use these exact same colors if you wish to get similar results. So I'm using Canson XL watercolor paper today for this, and I just scribble all the beautiful colors that I want to use onto the background. I recommend using brighter colors, especially ones that go together well, like these blues and purples and pinks. Again, there's the numbers if you're interested in using these same colors, and scribbling them around like this will give you a more fun, unique look. I like to start with a lighter color and then move to my other colors next to it and then go over the whole panel. But if I had advice for you, I would say to just do the lighter colors first, adding water with your water brush to them, and then going over the darker colors, since the lighter colors can get overwhelmed very easily. I also like to use my water spritzer on it as well to move the color around even more. And now I'm using a baby wipe or an extra paper towel to blot off some of the excess water. Now we're going to use our heat gun to set this. I like to use my heat gun until it is absolutely flat. So you'll see me here working it, moving it around, and you can see the purples and the blues look very blended well together, but I did lose a lot of the pinks. There's a couple spots of pinks still, but you just want to be careful with lighter colors because they will get lost very easily. So now we are going to add the darker layer on top, which is kind of fun, but I use a bunch of colors including black and navy, but again I have all of those listed down below as well in case you're interested. So I'm taking these dark colors, mostly the black, and doing the same sort of technique. I'm not covering the entire thing this time because I need lighter highlights and darker spots for the galaxy to look like it does on the example on the left. So I'm going in with blacks, grays, and navies to give it some more depth and dimension. And I also even go back in with the violet color to get more depth with the color in the background. So here are those colors in case you're interested, and their numbers. Again, I have more information on my blog in case you're interested. Now for this one, it can take a couple of layers to get the desired galaxy you want, but it will look really bad at first. It looks like a muddy mess, but that's definitely why you want to make sure you dry in between your layers so you can get a great top coat and bottom coat. And another thing you do not want to do is blot it on top with a paper towel, because that can pull the color from the bottom layer off as well, and then you're left with a very pale color in the background, which isn't galaxy-esque most of the time. So here we are with this galaxy. I don't use this galaxy in the cards today. I use the one that's already dry, but I will show you how I like to add my stars. I use white acrylic paint, any type, and then add a little bit of water, and then pull any sort of paintbrush and start flicking stars onto it. Depending on the thickness of your paint, you'll get more opaque stars or darker stars. So I like to do a couple rounds with different size stars as well as different opacities of stars, just to give it a little bit of variation. And I'm going to set that aside to dry. And to clean up, I always use my baby wipes, and this is just my Ranger multimedia mat, so it doesn't get too messy around here. And there's the 3 examples. So now what we're going to do is do some die cutting of the panel. Like I said, this isn't the one we created today, but it's the one I created during my live stream. If you'd like to see how I made this one, I did it in a very similar way with a couple different colors, but you can check that out on my channel as well, and I'll have it linked down below. And that is also where I colored the adorable astronauts, and I show you how I altered the astronauts to look more like a girl, and add some pigtails so you guys can see how you can alter your stamps in your stash and stretch them a little bit further. So I'm using 2 stitch dies. I have a stitched tag and a stitched rectangle. These are just the kind that are off of Amazon. They're like $8 for a little set, or like $4 for a little set. I don't buy the name brand ones because I am just graduated out of college. So now that these are all cut out, these adorable images are all from MFT, which you can see the full stamp set to the left here. I'll have a link to this in case you're interested over on my blog. But it's an adorable stamp set with so many cute sayings. What I decided to do is make 2 cards for you guys today. One on the right will be an odd-shaped card. I had some leftover cardstock cut to an odd shape that would fit inside a normal-sized envelope, not an A2 size, but like if you got mail, like a bill in the mail, it'd be that size. Not 100% sure if that's number 10 or number 12 maybe. I don't know all my envelope sizes yet. But I'm going to start with that card, and to do that, I scored and folded the paper and I made a black mat. And for that black mat, I'm going to make a nice little stamped background, which you'll see in a moment. But for now, I also pulled out a doily, which will go underneath that just to make it a little bit more fun. I pulled out my stamping tool, which is by Hampton Arts, but they do not make it anymore. It's hard to find. But there are plenty of other options out there, but I would highly recommend a stamping tool if you're a beginner stamper or an expert stamper. It is some life-changing stuff. So for the background here, I'm using a bunch of the planets and a bunch of the little stars that they have, and I'm going to move those around a little bit and use my Versamark watermark ink pad here, just my little square one, and make a bunch of stamps of these stars. And I'm going to heat emboss these with clear embossing powder to make a really fun effect on the background. So what's really great about this stamping tool is that you can just keep moving them around, and then you have more stamping and you don't have to like worry about positioning too much. Now that those are all stamped, I'm using my Wow Clear embossing powder to sprinkle on and get those images ready to emboss. And you can still see the white powder on the background from my embossing buddy, but you can wipe that off after they've been heat embossed, and it kind of will blow off a little bit when you're setting your stamps images. So again, just heat embossing these the normal way. I know I have some requests for heat embossing 101 videos. I am working on those. That requires a lot of planning to make sure you touch all of the subjects you want to. But I am working on that in case you are interested as well. But this card is coming along fairly quickly. This one's very simple in terms of stamping. If you're interested in seeing how I colored, like I said, the background or the images on these cards, they are available in my live stream in live view, so you guys can see what colors I used, how I used them, and all that. So I'm going to glue down this black doily. Yes, it is a Halloween doily, but I'm using the back of it, so it doesn't matter. And gluing down my little images here, just with my ATG tape, as well as I had some liquid adhesive after, because I didn't think the watercolor paper was going to hold up. I really need to get some stronger adhesive to use on these items. And that's it for the front of this card. I will add a sentiment on the inside. I'm just trying to decide which one to do. It's really hard because there's so many cute ones. And of course you can always wait to use the sentiment once the occasion comes up. Sometimes that's a lot easier. And of course it wouldn't be a galaxy card without some more stars. So I have these sequin stars from Celebrate It. I believe they're actually considered confetti, which is why there's so many in a pack. But I found these at clearance at Michael's, and I'm also using these itty bitty little stars from Spiegel Mom Scraps that came in this beautiful purple mix. These purple ones would also work great on this layout because of their combination with the galaxy background that I made. So I'm just going to glue all of these down, and then we're going to move on to the inside. So now that I finished the front, I'm actually going to set it aside instead of doing the inside and work on the second card. That way the front can dry before I start stamping on the inside of the other one. And this is a normal A2 sized card. And I have my galaxy panel die cut out of a stitch rectangle. And I'm going to be using this pretty star constellation pattern from Echo Park, which is a dark navy with light green, which isn't a total match, but since it's constellations, it works nicely. So I'm trying to figure out a position for my little images here, and I have a piece of twine out because I want to have the rope between the astronaut and the rocket ship, since that's how they travel in real space-time, right? It's like her air tube, or there's another name for it, I'm just not 100% sure what it is. And I'm going to end up putting those two images on foam tape, so it's easier for the twine to sit underneath them. If I had some sort of metal stuff, I would have used that instead, but I only have twine, so I'm drawing a thin line of glue for that, and then snipping off a little bit of extra, and then tucking that under both of the images. And of course I have Saturn in the background, because why wouldn't you have Saturn in the background? But that's the front of this card. It's fairly simple. The images I really wanted to shine, so now we're going to move on to the inside of both of them. Oh wait, I forgot stars. Always the stars. So I'm using the same stars from both sets, the tiny ones from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and then the medium-sized ones from Celebrate It, which is a Michael's collection brand. And I just pick them up with my fingers, but I really want one of those jewel pickers to see if they'll work well with sequins. But I'm working on it. I'm working on a plan. And with that, our cards are done. I remember that I did save sentiments to put on the inside till after the video, but this is them close up. You can see the shine of the stars It'd be really fun to do these for all sorts of occasions, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give this a thumbs up and subscribe for more card videos. Let me know what you'd like to see down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!